Hi everybody. This is going to be part 3 and hopefully the last part of the Michael Cox story and how it relates to the Karen Read trial that's going on right now. So where I left off, there was a grand jury and the suspect was one of the witnesses that testified to the grand jury about what he saw happen on the night that he was being pursued. Also, some other officers testified, and I went through that in the other part 2. So now we're on part 3. Conley was charged with a 3-count indictment. Count 1 was he committed perjury by denying that he saw Cox chase, pursue, and grab hold of a suspect as that suspect ran toward and climbed the fence at Woodruff Way. Count 2 charged that Conley also committed perjury by denying that he saw Boston police officers strike and kick Cox. Count 3 charged that Conley obstructed and endeavored to obstruct the grand jury investigation by giving false, evasive, and misleading testimony and withholding information. On June 10th, the jury returned verdicts of guilty on counts 1 and 3 and not guilty on count 2. Now, what I've been reading from is the appeal that Kenneth Conley filed in connection with this case. And I'm not going to read through all the charges that he put in there as being in error, but everything that he was charged with and found guilty of has been affirmed. Here's the last thing that the appellate court said. Conley knew that the grand jury was investigating the assault on Michael Cox by Boston police officers, and the trial jury found that he knowingly and willfully obstructed that investigation. The fact that Conley was acquitted on count 2 is irrelevant for cross-referencing purposes. So as a result of all of that, Conley was convicted of perjury and obstruction of justice and was sentenced to 34 months imprisonment and a $6,000 fine. All of his appeals were denied. So what I wanted to talk about was this is exactly what's happening right now in the Karen Read trial. All of these people have been lying just like Conley did in this case. They were lying, and FBI is most definitely still investigating this. They were never investigating the death of O'Keefe. They were always investigating the investigation of the death of O'Keefe. So that's where we're at. So I am going to be watching, after this trial is over, I'm going to be watching to see what happens to Brian Higgins, Brian Albert, I can't remember all the other guys' names, but all the people, Proctor, all the people that lied under oath. I just can't wait to see what happens. Back to Michael Cox now. You probably have all guessed that he went from being a cop that was beat up by his fellow officers, was never rendered any aid. Everyone lied and said, we don't know what you're doing. We don't know what happened. We didn't see him. We don't know. Everybody did that. And now he has become the police commissioner of the force that did all that to him. I know he had a lawsuit. I know he won. I know he, got a big result, payment as a result of that. And I don't deny him that. I mean, I would have done the same thing. But I guess what bothers me more than anything is that he said to that Dever lady, Kelly Dever, he said, do the right thing. And I don't think it was what we were hoping that it was. I think it was do the right thing, meaning stick up for your fellow officers and follow suit. And that's what she did. So I hope she's also investigated. And maybe Michael Cox needs to be investigated too. What do you all think? Let me know.